welcome to the STRAC Pulsara Reunification Training for SAMCEE 2025. My name is Kyle Jacobson, and I'm the Director of Emergency Preparedness Response at STRAC. Today we are going to learn about your role as a family reunification leader within the SAMCEE exercise. SAMCEE, or the San Antonio Mass Casualty Exercise and Evaluation, is a large-scale mass casualty incident, or MCI, where 600 plus volunteers will have moulage to simulate patients and be transported to 31 different facilities within the STRAC region. Pertaining to you, searchers will be looking in your hospital for an unaccounted individual. Searchers will have a tag of information on it of the individual that they are searching for. You will use Pulsara to create a record of this searcher and attempt to locate the unaccounted individual. What is the FRL agency? The FRL, or Family Reunification Leaders Agency, is an agency set up within Pulsara that is brand agnostic and not tied to a specific hospital. You, as a family reunification leader, have been nominated by your healthcare system as a trusted individual with access to sensitive information within Pulsara to facilitate reunification. Searchers, as we'll call them, are loved ones who are searching for individuals impacted by a mass casualty incident during SAMCEE. Unaccounted individuals are individuals who are possibly involved with an MCI and not accounted for by their loved ones. We avoid using terms like patient, survivor, decedent, because at this point we are not sure if those individuals are any of those things, or if they're even able to be accounted for at this time. FRL refers to family reunification leaders. That's you. As a family reunification leader, you will have special access to several different incidents within Pulsara. The initial or main MCI incident is an incident that is generated by EMS and populated by EMS using real-time information from the field. This includes triage information, potentially names, date of birth, location of the patient, where they were transported to, as well as pictures. This information is created by EMS and generates a powerful database that we can use to look through and reunify individuals. The reported missing board is your board. This is where we will keep track of who we come in contact with, who they are searching for, and if we were ultimately successful at reunifying individuals. This is the board that you will primarily be operating within. Other boards that may exist but we will not be using during SAMCEE are a known well board and a decedents board. Picture known well as an area where survivors who are non-injured are gathered and awaiting reunification. We can picture this as a gymnasium where individuals are sitting waiting to be picked up. If we look at what is potentially likely in a real mass casualty incident, this area would be described as known well. Ideally, the individuals who are in that location are also entered into Pulsara and would allow you a secondary area to search through. We will not be using this in SAMCEE 2025. The next board is a decedents board. Unfortunately, during a mass casualty incident, occasionally there are fatalities. These individuals are coded within Pulsara as well and tracked in a separate and secured board that is only accessible by law enforcement and the medical examiners. Those agencies have missions related to identifying and reunifying those individuals. I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items. First, I want to ensure that you are in the correct agency within Pulsara and that you are working within the correct incidents within Pulsara. When you log into Pulsara, you will see on the top left-hand side of your screen a label. This label is your agency. It should read STRAC FRL. If it reads anything other than STRAC FRL, you are operating in the incorrect agency and you need to log out of Pulsara and log back in as a STRAC FRL member. If you currently do not have access to STRAC FRL or Pulsara in general, please contact the emergency manager of your facility and they will grant you access. Next, we need to ensure that you're operating in the correct incident within Pulsara. If you look on the left-hand side of your screen, where those arrows are pointing, you will see a small dot within another dot. This is how you access incidents within Pulsara. Once you click that, the side panel will expand to say incidents. Ensure that you've clicked that, and your screen should look just like this. For SAMCEE 2025, you will have a reported missing and an MCI incident. To review, as a family reunification leader, searchers will be looking in your hospital for an individual that's unaccounted for. You will use Pulsara to create a record of that searcher and attempt to locate the unaccounted. If you have a positive match, you will label the match and attempt to contact the facility that is accounted for is located within. The searchers will be armed with these cards. On the front of the card, you will see their actor information, which hospital they're supposed to be going to, and their name. On the inside of the card is the information we will use for family reunification, including their name, their simulated relationship to the unaccounted, as well as simulated contact information. You will also find unaccounted for information, including the real name of the individual they're searching for, a simulated date of birth, real hair color, real eye color, real height, and the last known clothing that the individual was wearing when they saw each other. Some individuals may also have photos of the individual that they're searching for. Please ask the searcher if they have any recent photos of the unaccounted individual to see if you can use that as reference information. Using all of the information that you have access to here, we will now begin the process of reunification within Pulsara.
So here on the right are the tags that were gone over in the first section of the video. This is going to be on the volunteer's packet. This is the searcher information, the person who's sitting in front of you, looking for this individual, all the unaccounted information listed here. They should be able to verbally provide this information, but this is listed inside of their packet if needed. Here at the bottom, we're just simulating what this might look like. This is the person who walks up to you at your facility, and this is the individual that she is looking for. The volunteer should have a picture of this person on their phone. If not, that is just an added detail and is not necessary. So when I first log into the STRAC FRL account, I want to double check that I'm actually in STRAC FRL and not in any other facility. Once I've confirmed I've actually logged into the STRAC FRL account, I'll probably be taken to this first main page where I can see all of the previous patients that have been added. I don't want to look at that. I want to go to the incident board. So I go over to the incident tab, click here, and I can see the two boards that you guys are going to be operating in on SAMCEE Day. So I have the EMS MCI incident board. This is where I'm going to be searching for patients but should not be adding anyone. And this is the reported missing board. This is your board where you will be creating channels for searchers that are looking for unaccounted individuals. So Laura walks up to my desk and she's looking for her son, Noah Bailey. So I'm going to go into the reported missing board, which is where I create all of my channels. Once I'm in here, I can see all of the other individuals who channels have been created for. These are all test incidents from previous usages, but Laura is sitting in front of me, so I'm going to want to create a channel and a record of who she is looking for. So I'm going to come to the Create Patient tab up here. And these fields up at the top are just information we need to input. It is not essential really for your use. So I'm going to click ED Patient, click the arrival time, and if I have a specific floor or room that I'm operating out of in your facility, then that is a detail that you can add. Feel free to leave it blank. As I scroll down, I'm going to want to add all of the information about the unaccounted individual. So Laura tells me that she is looking for her son, Noah Bailey. I'm going to type in his first name and last name and provide his date of birth. You can see here, that's his date of birth, 11/11/2004. It autofills their age for you, and then I'm going to collect whatever gender is provided. I also see that he has a height of 5'11", and as I scroll down, I have one more field I need to fill out in order to create this patient. I can leave the patient type general, and I'm just going to give a description of the general situation. So Laura Bailey here at STRAC, which is the location that is provided. You would fill in whatever facility you're located at, is searching for her son, Noah Bailey. Just a quick kind of synopsis, so as somebody opens up this channel, they can get an overview of this is the individual who's unaccounted, who might be looking for them, and where they're located. Once I've added all of this information, I can review, and then I will click Activate. And I can now see this record has been fully created. From here, I can add a lot of remaining details. One of the cool things here is we have a flowchart template, flowchart notes, and as I click this and I select the reunification template, I have a lot more options to details I can add about the searcher who's standing in front of me and the unaccounted person they're looking for, including hair color, eye color, last known clothing, etc. None of this is required, but any additional details is helpful to the search. So I can add my name and the phone number that would best be able to reach me. So if anybody was looking through this and had information about Noah, they would know what facility they're located at and who's a good contact person. I have Laura Bailey here. She's Noah's mother. She's located at Strack. Again, looking for Noah Bailey, date of birth, and he has brown hair, brown eyes, and is 5'11". All of this isn't necessary. You aren't required to fill any of this information out, but again, any additional details is helpful. So I'm going to click save, and you'll see that that template and all of that information is now saved to the file for Noah Bailey. The other thing I can do is I can add images. If I already have them saved on my desktop, the volunteer in front of you has a picture of the person they're looking for on their phone. You can take a picture of it, upload it to your device, and add it to the file. It's not necessary. These are all just additional details. Okay, once I've done that, I'm just going to leave this case. I have a record now of the person who walked to me at this facility at this specific date and time and the person that they're looking for. Now what I need to do for Laura is look for Noah. So I'm going to go back to the incident boards and I'm going to look in the EMS MCI incident for Noah Bailey. When I enter this incident, I can see a lot of information. I can see a lot of triage tags and maybe some destinations and other details. But I don't see any names. If I wanted to see all of the names that were here and I'm in a HIPAA compliant location to do so, I can come up to the gear tab here and click show patient names. It will give me a warning and I'm going to click show names. Now I can see a running list of all of these names that are involved in this MCI. But I want to look for Noah, so I will go up to the filter patients tab and type Noah Bailey. And I see two Noahs pop up. I see a Noah Bell, 74 years old, and I see another match that's probably more accurate to what I'm looking for. Noah Bailey, that exact first and last name, and he has the exact same age. As I go and click on his file, I can see that this is, again, a Noah Bailey. He's 20 years old. He has the exact same date of birth. And when I go down to images, I see that he looks a lot like the person that I'm looking for. So I will go back and I will add a little tab here. As you saw at the very beginning, I can list him as ongoing reunification. So if for some reason at his facility, he states that he's looking for family members, the nurse or whoever is in charge of his care can see somebody is already looking for him because he has an ongoing reunification tab. So in order to contact the facility that Noah was located at, which I look down here and I can see that he was located at this Test Hospital. So I want to contact the staff and the family reunification leaders at Test Hospital in order to start reunification. So I'm going to go back to my board, back to the reported missing, and I want to add the Test Hospital family reunification leaders to that patient. So I'm going to go into Noah Bailey's file, again, add ongoing reunification, and I can go up here to the Teams tab where I can then update this patient and add Test Hospital individuals. As I type in test, you can see that Kyle Jacobson pops up and I can add him to my patient. If I was looking through Christus Westover, I could type in Christus and I see all of the different facilities that pop up here. Same thing for Methodist, same thing for any facility that you could be looking for. Okay, but Noah is located at Test Hospital in this scenario. So I type in Test Hospital and I can click Save. Once I've done that, that individual has now been added to the incident. So from here, I'm going to go over to conversation, and I can add a template message that says, hi all, possible match, please review this searcher channel and start the reunification process. Or if you already have all the information you need and you don't want to use a template, it is not necessary. It is just there in case you would like to use it. In this case, I'm going to type, hi test hospital staff. I have a Laura Bailey searching for her son, Noah Bailey, who appears to be located at your facility. Can you confirm and provide next steps for reunification? And the staff who are on call, the family reunification leaders, since we are all in the same agency, will get a notification about this patient and will be able to provide details from here. If I go out to this main page and I scroll down, this red dot is what it looks like when somebody has posted something in the conversation. If you're added to that searcher, I can click and find more details. So if I come back up here, Kyle will eventually respond from test hospital, and I'm just going to simulate that. Any information that you think is relevant, that when Laura shows up to your facility and gives her the right instructions. If your family reunification center is located on the 2nd floor, maybe provide that information. But this is very facility specific, so we're leaving it up to y'all what this would look like. Once we have made this kind of match and we have conversation going on between both facilities' family reunification leaders, at least in terms of the exercise, we will say that that reunification has been complete. We are not going to send Laura Bailey or whatever volunteer has that information on the exercise day to a complete other facility. Once that conversation has been made and that connection has been made, we are going to say that this individual, Noah Bailey, as I come back out, has been reunified. So I'm going to change his label from ongoing to reunified. Now, let's go through the scenario of someone walks up to me at my facility and I don't find a match for them. So let's say in this scenario, a Brett Cole walks up to my desk and is looking for a Liam Cole. So I'm going to create a patient. This one I'm going to go through a little quicker so we don't need to put as much time into details. I have a Brett Cole here looking for a Liam Cole. And his date of birth is April 9th, 1993. Okay. I'm just going to scroll past some of these extra details. All right, and I'm going to activate this patient. Now, I tell Brett Cole that I'm going to look for Liam Cole right now. I go over to the incidents board. I go to the EMS MCI incident where I'm just going to be searching. And I type in Liam Cole, or I type in Liam, and I get a match, but it says Liam Rivera with the incorrect date of birth. This does not look like a match for my searcher. If that happens, that could mean any number of things. This could be a person who was involved in the incident, but then arrived via a personal vehicle and so hasn't been scanned in by the hospitals. This could be any number of reasons on an actual MCI incident. Either way, I don't have a match for Brett just yet. So I'm going to go back to my board, to the reported missing board, and go into his file and label it searching no match. This indicates to me that I will go back to this patient and continue to search the other board for a Liam Cole and try and facilitate this match. But at this time, there is no Liam Cole in the system. Why are these labels so important? As I go back out to this board, we can see we have 23 total patients in this board currently. So if I'm looking through this board and I want to determine how many people have we reunified, what does success look like? Or if I want to only search people who still have not created a match just yet, I can go up to this filter by label, and if I type in searching no match, I can see that out of these 23 patients, we still have 4 that have not been reunified based off of their labels and their tags. Maybe I want to see how many people out of these 23 patients we have successfully reunified. I can type in reunified, and see that there's another 4 that have been reunified. That's why those labels are so important. Okay, big kind of review here. This is the board where you're going to create channels for your searcher that is looking for that unaccounted individual. This is the board where you are going to look for any of those unaccounted individuals. This concludes the step-by-step of how you're going to create a channel for your searcher that is looking for an unaccounted individual.